Hi there, my name is Pierre Walters, and I wrote a little book called Prove It with Pictures to help emerging entrepreneurs like me discover the skills and master the mindset behind building a powerful brand. Today, I'm glad to bring just a few of these powerful lessons to you right here. Join me on this episode. Prove It with Pictures, building an audience that cares about you. We are now heading into part 2 of section 2 called Conversation. Twitter, Facebook, and blogs. For many people, especially those of us who are very busy doing other things, these areas fall low on our priority list. For many years, I ignored the growing trends in social media. I was convinced that they did not apply to me. In 2011, during the hot Washington, D.C. summer months, we produced our feature film, 562. It was an incredible experience for me, one equaled only by the unbelievable shock that within 48 hours of wrapping the picture, I was laying on my side in a hospital room undergoing a spinal tap procedure. My body had failed me as I began to lose control of my arms and my legs, without the ability to even write my own name. After nearly a week in the local hospital, I was ambulanced to the University of Maryland, Baltimore shock trauma, where I endured a critical surgery called a cervical spinal fusion, where selected bones in my neck were joined together to relieve pressure on my spinal cord. Within 4 months, I was back on my feet and ready to work. Looking back at my experience in the hospital and through recovery, though, I can reflect on 2 very important lessons. The first lesson I learned was that nothing seemed to matter to me as much as an honest-to-goodness simple conversation. In fact, those who came to see me in the hospital brought with them positive energy that made the difference for me on a daily basis. Colleagues and associates who took the time to see me exemplified the incredible importance of our real-life human connection. Nothing was more important to me than that. Second, I learned that appreciation for the people who are often taken for granted would forever be a focus for me. Taking the time to reach out and speak, to message and show honest-to-goodness gratitude for the lives of others was a simple act that had lasting consequences. It was through this transformation that Blue Artist Live was born. And it's through Blue Artist Live, our long-standing blog series, that we've met and developed the relationships that have proved priceless in the time since. Now, Blue Artist Live, at the time that this book was written, was primarily our YouTube presence, and it was we were doing it was pretty robust. But since then, we've gone into a little bit of a different direction. Now we've got a variety of different businesses, and we also have our primary platform, Brand Desk, and all these things together. We've shifted our YouTube presence to make sure that there was a theme and a presence that it could appeal to all of the different types of people that we're really privileged to serve. Now, the power of conversation is one that as business owners we easily overlook to our own detriment. It's not just about advertising, although that doesn't hurt. It's about uplifting those whom we serve. It's about placing them in the spotlight and showing others that they too can achieve their dreams. Allow me to explain our method of social media. So let's start with Twitter. Twitter is a one-of-a-kind tool that allows relationships to develop at the speed of thought, or at least in snippets of 120 characters or less. The beauty of this back and forth dialogue is that it is rapid and forces us to cut through the clutter to simply say what we mean. People tweet photos, inspiring quotes, breaking news, ideas, thoughts, and in some cases, even wedding proposals. Though Through Twitter, we can connect and rapidly dialogue with people all over the world in an instant, moreover. We have the opportunity to take part in a global conversation about a variety of topics and events. We have the opportunity to make our voices heard, and we can rest assured that those who follow us are doing so because they care about what it is we have to say. Twitter provides us an opportunity to broadcast your brand's thoughts and opinions on local events, popular ideas, worldwide trends, new products, and inspirational moments to a community that really cares about your opinion. Through Twitter, we can engage with current fans and reach out to discover new ones. We can increase your brand's relevance in the life of your audience by becoming a part of their daily conversation. This is a powerful tool that amplifies the human element and wins loyalty. Now, I want to say something about Twitter. At the time that this was written, I don't know that I could have foreseen President Donald Trump. Regardless of your perspective and your feelings about President Donald Trump, his use of Twitter is virtually unprecedented in the realm of the White House, in the realm of the presidency. And it has been incredibly eye-opening to see how someone in that position can sort of take control of the narrative by virtue of Twitter, by virtue of engaging directly with the people, so to speak, rather than going through press conferences or through the traditional mainstream media. This has had incredibly polarizing effects because on the one hand, we get an unprecedented, an unfiltered leader, but on the other hand, we get a leader who is more real, I guess, unfiltered, given that they're communicating directly with the people, not through a sort of intermediary medium like a television news station or cameras or the radio. This is really, I think, been quite disruptive for our nation, for the United States, and probably even for the world. And so what this, I think, teaches us is that we really have to keep in mind that engaging in a global conversation through a medium like Twitter or through any sort of social media does have lasting effects. It does have lasting consequences, and we can't just pretend that it doesn't. So you want to keep that in mind as you engage with Twitter and represent your brand. You're still representing your brand, and that's important. It's a one-on-one conversation, but it's also a one-on-millions conversation, and that does have lasting effects. I mean, people have been fired from their jobs because of tweets that they posted years ago, even before they were employed. So there are lasting consequences at play, and I think, it's important to realize that the stuff that we put on social media, the stuff that we post or share or are involved with, are things that are permanent. They really are. So that makes a big difference with how we engage with these aspects, these tools as conversation vehicles. Facebook, often criticized for its overwhelming popularity and privacy concerns, is a little bit different. Facebook is a social networking site that allows people to reconnect through photos, videos, and messages. Its value is in its ability to spotlight, if only for a moment, both life's milestones and minor events. As a brand, Facebook can provide a little bit of a different solution, one that complements Twitter perfectly. Through Facebook, we can highlight fans, customers, and people. We can place individuals other than ourselves into the spotlight. We can bring attention to those who make big differences in small ways, and we can publicly thank them for it. We can bring attention to fans, and we can personalize our conversations. Finally, blogging is probably the most difficult aspect to wrap your mind. Before we go into the blogging, let me say something more about Facebook. Facebook is probably the most effective place to really consider the bedrock for your brand. I mean, we have other tools. We have Instagram, Snapchat, we have Twitter, as I just said. We have TikTok, which is now a thing. But in terms of really getting insight into a global audience, Facebook is almost unparalleled. That's because Facebook is so malleable. A lot of these other platforms do one thing and do it really, really well, whereas Facebook kind of tries to do a lot of things. So it's a general sort of home base. It's a great place to consider as the foundation, the sort of headquarter for your brand, whereas the other platforms are sort of flanking it, sort of ancillary. And this does not apply for everybody, but this is something that I sort of think about when I think about Facebook. When I think about Facebook is that if you're going to spend money on ads, Facebook is probably the place to do it. Obviously, Facebook is integrated with Instagram by way of ownership, so $1 on Facebook also is $1 on Instagram, which is good to know. But you know what? As of the time of this recording, Facebook ads are underpriced. I mean, the reach that you can get on Facebook in terms of targeting the specific people that you're really going after is unparalleled. Really. I mean, no more are we just putting ads out and hoping to God that someone of interest takes notice. On Facebook, we can really fine-tune who sees our ads and therefore increase the likelihood that they'll respond favorably to the ads. And that's important for you to keep in mind when you're looking at, where am I going to spend my dollar when it comes to marketing? Facebook is definitely something to consider. Finally, blogging is probably the most difficult aspect to wrap your mind around if you're not naturally inclined to it. To put it simply, a blog is a form of website that is regularly updated with opinions, information, and feedback. And when operated correctly, a blog can act sort of like a newspaper for your audience. It is usually informal, but more importantly, it is a reliable source for new information regarding your brand. And when used in conjunction with your Facebook and Twitter profiles, it is a powerful tool to engage with your audience. Think of a blog as the internet's equivalent of tuning in to your favorite TV show during a regular specified time. When your audience knows where and when they can check on you to get the latest on your brand, you have already won. That's important. Consistency is king here because you're sort of by being consistent with your blog posts, posting them at the same time every day or the same time every week or the same time every month, you're sort of teaching your audience, hey, this is when to check in on me. This is when you can rely on hearing my voice and gaining additional value from my platform. Through an effective conversation strategy like this, your brand will develop into a consumer-focused powerhouse. You will reap the rewards of an engaged fan base, a prize once reserved for rock stars and celebrities. Thanks for watching this episode of Prove It with Pictures. If you'd like a copy of the book, you can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. To reach me directly, visit my website at www.pierrewalters.com.